everyone, my name is Kevin from MRU Studios, and we're here back today. I wanted to talk about a question that a viewer had related to the DAZ to Blender bridge. And specifically, it was about how when you export the character from DAZ Studio into Blender, you can't, and maybe there's a way to fix this, but you can't actually use the normal viewport controls to move the character, like move, grab, move, rotate, and scale the character, okay? If you use Diffeomorphic, that issue doesn't exist. You can do it, but for some reason, when you export using the DAZ to Blender bridge, you have this issue. There's a way around it, and I kind of wanted to demonstrate that and how to deal with that in case there's other viewers who might have that same question or are not sure about it, right? So I wanted to kind of talk about how you can get around that issue or the problem. First of all, before we actually get started, I wanted to show you something. There is official DAZ Studio documentation, okay? Right here. This is the DAZ to Blender Bridge User's Manual, okay? Now it looks a little bit different on some of the interfaces here. I don't see these. Maybe these were like development windows they took screen captures of and then made a document for that, because the windows look a little bit different. But there's a lot of, looks like, quality information on here on exactly how to use the DAZ to Blender bridge. And I will actually, if you're watching this video, if you're watching this after the stream, I will place a link to this in the video description, so you'll be able to access it. So there's a lot of information here. I don't know how much of it actually applies to the version of the DAZ to Blender bridge that's out right now. So you might want to look through it and see. There is something in here that talks about going into Blender and turning on auto run of Python scripts. I know whenever I use the DAZ to Blender bridge and bring a character in, one of the big issues I see is that I get all these Python script errors. And I thought turning that on may fix it. It doesn't. It's almost like the DAZ to Blender bridge is an unfinished work in progress, to be honest with you. It's better than it used to be, but hopefully they continue to work on that. Definitely, I would recommend using Diffeomorphic though. But this is it, right? And like I said, the link is in the description. Hey, looks like it's an official document from DAZ Studio. So I don't know how much it applies to the current version of the DAZ to Blender bridge, but I didn't even know anything like this existed. And I've kind of glanced over it. I haven't really read it in detail, so I don't know a ton about it. But we're gonna talk about something specific related to the DAZ to Blender bridge, and I want to show you what I'm referring to. So let's go ahead and open up DAZ Studio, shall we? Yes, we shall. All right, over here. So let's bring that up. And I am going to basically load in a character that I've already got saved as a scene subset. Make sure he or she, probably she, is in the default pose. And then we'll go ahead and export them over to Blender. And once we do that, I will show you this issue that I'm talking about that you may kind of get stuck on, or some viewers might get stuck on. So what we'll do is go into the content library. We'll go in here and select our fearless leader, Captain Tanya Sadea, who is the head of the Mercenary Squad Multiverse Response Unit in our animated visual novel. So check it out here on the channel. I don't know if Jeremy, if you're here, you could put a link in there. I know you're pretty busy, so if you don't have time, man, I get it. So there she is. All right, she's beautiful in all her glory. Captain Sadea, leader of the squad. I portray Commander Cody, second in command of the MRU. There she is. She looks beautiful in NVIDIA iRay. Can never complain about how beautiful NVIDIA iRay looks, right? So let's go ahead and rotate the sun around, man. Bring back the sun, and she looks gorgeous. Now, we've got her set up, all her shaders, everything on. I customized this beautiful, our beautiful captain, and what we're gonna do is get out of NVIDIA iRay. Pro tip, never use the DAZ to Blender bridge when you're in NVIDIA iRay, because it will take forever for the script to finish running, because it's updating the character in the scene, and it just takes a while to upload that, because it constantly sends the information to from your system memory to the GPU, loads it into the GPU. So let's go and we are going to put her in her default pose, because there's an issue if you try to use the DAZ to Blender bridge. The DAZ to Blender bridge only works with Genesis 3 and Genesis 8, and with Genesis 8 it assumes that the character needs to be in the A pose. If you don't put it in the you don't put the character in the A pose, it causes an issue. Don't have that problem with Diffeomorphic. You can do it. But we're going to put her in the A pose. She's good. And we are going to go to Scripts and Bridges, Blender, DAZ to Blender. All right. And like I said, the only character types you can export is Genesis 3 and Genesis 8. So we're going to click Accept. Leave the subdivision level as 0. There's no reason to bring it up any higher because you can actually add a subdivision modifier in Blender to increase the subdivision level. You don't need to do that here. There's absolutely no need for it, right? So collect textures. We're not going to do any of that stuff. Just click Accept. All right. Then it's going to run. And it's going to do our export, right? Just like we've seen before. She's exported and she's beautiful, right? So what we're going to do is minimize DAZ Studio. Let's bring in some Blender 3.0. Blender 3.1 has caustics in it now, actual real caustics in Cycles X. I'm excited about that. So we're going to do that, delete, get rid of all that stuff. We don't need any of it. And we're going to bring in our famous captain. She is going to be here, DAZ to Blender, just import new Genesis figure, okay? Blender 3.0 introduces this platform thing. I don't see it when I import with DAZ or Blender 2.9 3.4. Don't see it. So what we're going to do is take the cube. I think you can delete these safely without really a problem. I don't like how DAZ, I don't like how the DAZ to Blender bridge organizes things. It's kind of chaotic in here. You don't need these things. These are, I don't know why those shapes in there, to be honest. I think they are used to actually create or set up the rigging for the character. I just move them under hidden so they get hidden. You know, you can hide and show that stuff. I don't need to see it. Okay, what's the problem, Commander Kevin? Let's talk about this. What's the problem? So let's grab her and say, we're going to go Genesis 8 female. Actually, I think it's, is it the mesh? We need to go into, not pose mode, sorry. We need to go to object mode. Grab her and say, grab. Okay, now normally I should be able to take the mouse and move her around. What the hell is this sorcery? I don't know. Let's go ahead and say scale. Okay, I can't, what is this? I should be able to scale this character. That's nonsense. And then I go R for rotate. What the heck? I mean, she's not even rotating. Don't ask me why this is an issue with the DAZ to Blender bridge. If you are familiar with Blender and know more than I do, maybe you can figure it out, okay? But how you can get around this issue is go to Item and start moving things here. Now, I know this is not the ideal situation, but you can actually move the character. Performance is incredibly slow. I don't understand that. And if you want to scale, click one of the scale values, grab, and basically you click, hold the left mouse button and drag down. That'll grab all your values. And then you can say like 2.5. So we're going to rescale the character. My goodness, she's a giant. And so you can do things like that. And then if you want to rotate, you can rotate over here, do our Euler rotations, and she can rotate. But that's the only way I found to actually do anything with the character as far as movement like that. You have to do it from, and how you get into this navigation pane right here, if it's hidden, you just press N for navigation and then click on the Item tab, and then you scroll down over to whatever you want to move, and then just drag things that way. Performance is crazy slow. Don't ask me, all right? I don't know. You have to move things by location. You can't do your normal viewport grabbing, moving around, that kind of, it just doesn't work. Let me go ahead and show you. In Diffeomorphic, you just don't have that problem. We're gonna go back in DAZ Studio. The only thing, actually, we don't even need to be in DAZ Studio because we've already created the necessary DBZ file. And if you're not familiar with that, you can check out my other videos, but basically you just come over, well, I'll show it to you. You come over here, and once you install everything, you've got this scripts, and you click on that, you double click here, and you go to where you want to put your DBZ file. And it has to be in the same folder as the Duff file that is your it is your DAZ Studio project file, which we're going to go and look at here. So you come down here and there is the Duff file, but you can see I've already created the DBZ file, so I don't need to create it here. You just click save and it literally creates the DBZ file, tells you how long it took to create it, and that's it. So it's more straightforward with Diffeomorphic. So we've already done that. Let's go ahead and open up Blender, and we're in Blender here, 3.0, and we'll go ahead and delete everything because we won't need it. And we'll go over here to the DAZ importer, which is Diffeomorphic. You get a lot more options with Diffeomorphic here too. I've learned more about how to, I bring in poses. Oh man, that's so cool. You might be able to do that with the DAZ to Blender Bridge. You can add your pose library, but I know that it works. The good thing is that I've used Diffeomorphic to import like Michael 3 way pre-Genesis figure, and it works great. Works really good. Like I said, I can't give a praise enough to the developers of Diffeomorphic at all. They're good. So we'll go here and do that, and we'll come into DAZ 3D, go to Studio. We're going to come over here to render. My library. We're going to go to Scene Subsets, and we are going to click on MRU, and then we're going to bring Captain Sadea in. This is bringing Captain Sadea in using Diffeomorphic, right? The main thing I was going to tell you is if we go into Solid View, just select the character, and we're going to go into Object Mode, and literally just grab the character. Okay, and say grab. Look at that. Now I can actually move the character, and it moves around faster. And then I can actually like rotate. Click R, rotate the character around. Beautiful. Okay, we couldn't do that with DAZ to Blender, right? And then also if you grab and say scale, now we can use the viewport controls to scale the character and make her like 85 feet tall, right? Or miniature, right? And we don't have to go over and mess with the transforms like you do in the DAZ to Blender Bridge. This is way you can fix it. Use Diffeomorphic. Then you don't have to worry about messing with controls over here and not being able to use viewport controls. So yeah, and that's really what I wanted to cover and talk about. So if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I do new tutorial videos, and also have my live streams. You know, come on in, talk and chat, hang out with us. But I hope this helped, you know, in some way. I'm thinking about, and if you have an idea for tutorials or something you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to entertain any ideas of content you'd like to see. With that, yeah, thank you again for watching the video, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic week, and thank you so much. Consider subscribing and check out my animated visual novel, and we'll see you in the next video.